Hello and welcome to another episode of the Invested American Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, please subscribe, like, and share with others. Today's show is going to be a great one. Alexander, I'm excited about today's show. We're going to talk about circles and the people you associate yourself with and who you talk to and who you spend time with. But before we get into all that, Alexander, I know that we just got back from 8%. When people see this episode, if you remember, Alex, this is episode 12. Episode 11 was with Tony Merwin, right? So that was a great episode. Then we got with Tony, and then we went over to 8%. Yep. How'd you like 8%?
It was a great experience. A lot of takeaways.
Yeah.
You know, it definitely helped me, kind of get a better understanding, about how other people think about the business and stuff.
Yep.
So pretty cool.
It is cool. It was awesome, too. We had Theory go with us, our producer. And what's the new name? The new name they gave her is the podcast princess.
Okay.
Right. We were at 8%. Who said that first to you, Theory? Who was the first person to say that? Ginger Ford. All right, Ginger. Thanks for that. That's good stuff. Well, I told Theory today, Alex, that we'll get her on the show at some point. So people, if she's the podcast princess, we got to get her on the show for a few minutes. We're going to interview her. So we'll get her on here in just a bit because she's in our circle. Real good. Some of the takeaways I got, let's talk about 8%. I have to say that every time I go, I feel like when I go to an event like that, I just feel like I pick up just a few little extra nuggets, something to do to transition my business one way or another, And one of the speakers that was up there, she was talking about how every Sunday, it was one of the keynote speakers at the end, she was talking about how every Sunday she takes an ice bath. And she's consistent about it and why she does it, how it makes her uncomfortable. And she's got a group of people that she's around that do the same thing, I know one of the great takeaways you got, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you got with a group of guys that you had a relationship with already. Right. But you guys have put together kind of a little pack on some, exercise or some commitments on reading and this and that you guys are doing every day.
Yeah.
Who's involved? What are you guys doing?
Yeah. So it's me, Adam, Colin, Donald. It's us three, and we're doing this thing called 75 Hard. And
75 Hard?
Yeah.
Before you talk, who are those guys? Just,
so they were all in the Ultimate Agent with me.
Awesome. Okay. Guys you competed with.
Grew a relationship with. Good friendship with them.
By the way, when's your show coming out?
They just released the trailer today. Cody did.
Oh, so he released it all to everybody because I know they showed it at 8%.
Yeah. So
okay, I didn't know they released it. We've got to share that and post that.
Yeah. So he released it today. So did some of the directors on it as well. So they released it. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped up for that.
Yeah.
But so 75 Hard. It's you go 75 days with 2 workouts.
Okay.
One is an outdoor workout for 45 minutes, and another one is an indoor workout for 45 minutes. Or it doesn't have to be indoor, but like lifting weights.
Perfect. Awesome.
Then you would have to read 10 pages a day from some business book or something that kind of feeds your brain.
Okay, good. Like a self-help book or a business book. Great.
And take notes about that, and then drink a gallon of water a day and follow a strict diet. And then no cheats or anything, so it's pretty intense.
Okay, what day are you on?
I'm on day 4.
Okay.
So
has anyone bailed yet?
No one's bailed. No one's bailed. But today, me and James were actually in a house, and a client.
You and James Head?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys were in a house. Okay, fun.
We were in a house, and the client brought out cookies, and it was just.
Oh God.
And then I explained her the situation because I didn't want her to think, I don't want your cookies.
Right. Yeah, you're trying to sell her, and now you're not taking her cookies.
Yeah. So I explained to her, what I was doing with, my buddies, and she was like, I understand. Next time when you come, though, you're going to make sure that you eat some cookies. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever.
There we go.
But yeah, pretty intense. The 4th day already. I'm seeing already a decent amount of progress, so it feels good.
Yeah.
I told you the other day when I woke up, or 2 days ago or a day ago, I didn't set my alarm, but I still woke up at 6:15, and it's like a habit now.
I love it.
I still set my alarm every day just in case, but to show myself that I already kind of have that habit now of getting up that early, it's helped me a lot. So,
big time, right? I love that. What was it? It was even maybe a couple episodes ago, you were still talking, I'm still trying to do it. And it just blows me up because I'll be up in the morning and now I hear the garage opening up. It's 6:30. It's oh, Alexander's gone. Man, that's crazy. And then we ran into each other this morning, but it's just man, I'm just proud of you, dude. That's just big time. And I saw Colin did a TikTok, or maybe it was on his Instagram story. I forget, but I feel like I saw Colin do one where he was walking or he was running or something.
So he's not a. Sorry to cut you off. He's not a social media guy, and I was wearing him out at 8%. I was like, dude, you got to get on social.
Okay.
Like, you're not posting like you need to.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I didn't even have Instagram downloaded. And I was like, okay, bro, well, let's get that downloaded for you real quick. I don't even think he had Facebook downloaded either.
Wow,
so
okay.
Not a social guy. And then he got on, said, this is kind of this is not normal for me, to get on social media. But then he explained the whole 75 hard and that he's getting on social more actively now. So I'm just proud of him.
That's great.
He's not a social media guy, but now I got him to download it and hop on it. So
that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is so. I guess you know what that kind of talks about what we're talking about today. Talking about the circle, and just how powerful that is. Because you tell me if I'm wrong here. By working and being with this group, what do you think? This is a circle of guys. We all make the same commitment. Why do you think it's important now that you're in this circle?
Right.
Okay. Why do you need this circle to do what it is you're doing? Because nothing you said. You said, Dad, I'm going to. You didn't say, Dad. But you know what I'm saying. 2 workouts a day, inside, outside,
right.
45 minutes each. Okay, great. Talked about a consistent diet, right? Talked about reading every day, right? You can do all that. You don't need these guys. You can do that by yourself.
Yeah.
So why the group?
I feel like when I think about your circle, right, the kind of the topic,
Yeah.
I come back to like a support system.
Yep.
Right?
I love that, Alexander. Yes.
Like your family's your support system, right? God's your support system. But for this situation, the working out and everything that we're doing, we felt like it would be a little bit more beneficial as a group to do it together so we can all support each other.
Absolutely.
We have a group chat on our iMessage that we check in every day. How's it going, guys?
Perfect.
Have we done our 2 workouts? Have we done our gallon? Have we read?
Yep.
Have we followed the diet? So we're all holding each other accountable.
Absolutely.
And what's so good about your circle and having the support system, right, is when someone starts maybe having tracking off, the path of how to do it, you got someone right there to come help bring you back up. Like, dude, you got to stay focused on this, right? So, I mean, through that whole journey, I feel like us doing it together now after the 75 days, we're going to be like, well, it was really beneficial.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I will also tell you that I'm a believer. It's like being in a book club. That's another circle. When you do those things, it actually holds you accountable.
Right.
And that's really where I was going to dive into. I think by having circles and having people around you, what those people do is hold you accountable. I've done some TikTok videos about this, and I'll just, share, like, when I think of circles, like, I'll give you I have this one circle, and this one circle contains my wife, of course. And, my wife's in any circle, right? I mean, she's my wife. So Shelly's obviously in my circle. But you know who else is in that circle? My priest. Because my priest is somebody that I get my spiritual counsel from. That's where I get my godly accountability from, So he helps improve my goal to go into heaven, right? And then I've got, we hired Deidre Dieterman. And she has a D2 Branding is her company. So Shelly and I got introduced by our podcast princess to meet with her, and she's been doing our marketing stuff, and she helped us create. If you haven't checked it, check it out. www.alisaleh.com, ALLIESALEH, and in there you can download a free ebook. And in the ebook, it's the 6 pillars that we teach on the Ali Saleh Obsessed with Your Success coaching system. And one of those is your circle. Your support system is what we talk about. So I love that you use the term support system because that's what we use in that book that we created. And what's great about it is that Deidre helped us do that. But she's in that circle because she's helping us in so many different ways. And then our attorney, Rob Coffey, knew him from back in the day when met him the first time when we were at Pee Wee football in Jinx.
Yep.
Do you remember what your favorite thing Rob ever said in practice one day?
Let me think.
Because we're going to have him see this piece.
I don't.
Remember when? Okay, I'll get back to it. I'm going to put that down. No, we're going to get into it. And then, another person, I'm a believer in therapy. I'm a believer in getting counseling, coaching. I got another man in there for that part of my circle. So there's one circle that I have that's a private circle. Right. It's a vulnerable circle. It makes me stay humble and keep my eye on the prize. I want to do a good job for Jesus. I want to do a good job for my family. I want to do a good job for those that I serve. Right. That circle helps me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm totally with you.
So back to the Rob thing. Do you remember we were in practice one day, the first season, and Rob said something about all the jobs available on the football team? Do you remember?
Oh. He said something like, well, I don't remember exactly what he said, but every spot's open or something.
Every spot's open. I remember being.
What did he say though? Did he say that?
I'll tell you what the conversation we had in the car going home for practice that day. Do you remember we were in the car and you said to me, "Hey, Dad, you know what Rob said isn't all true." And I said, "What do you mean it's not true?" He goes, "Dad, he said that like all the jobs, or even if you want to be quarterback, Dad, I'm not going to be quarterback."
That's Jaron's job.
That's Jaron's job. That's right. That was Yaya, right? That was Yaya's job. But isn't that? I thought that was great. Yeah. So there you go, Rob.
He does that though. He's holding he's giving everyone kind of an open mind. Like I can go get that. Right.
That's right.
To show them to bring out their best in practice.
I love that. Yeah.
So it was a good mind thing. You know, for us as kids. You know, for him to say that because we all believed it. It's I wouldn't even. In a way, he lying, not lying. I don't know.
Because, it's not lying. It's motivating.
Right. Yeah, it's motivating.
Right.
And if there's on our team, if there's someone that's not playing their part, right, or someone that's not starting and wants to start, right, him saying that gives them motivation to try to go get that spot.
Alex, I got to tell you, as we're talking about this, I'm just getting some triggers in my mind. I think about, I had a couple people at 8% say, "Man, your son is doing so good, and he's only been in for such a little amount of time." Right. And I'm like, "No, he's not. He's doing well because he hasn't been in it for a little bit of time. He's been in this for quite a while." Well, how could it be? He's only 19. And, it's the process. Right. When you were 16, and, when I was a partner with the other firm that we were with, you'd come up there and you would make phone calls. Right. You would spend time making phone calls as agents would go out and run those appointments, right? We'd give you a little spiff, pay you some money per hour to learn how to do that. Today I was talking to an agent and I said, "Man, you got to remember when Alexander first got on the phones at 16, it isn't like he was booking appointments. Right. He was trying to book appointments, and then you had a circle of people that were helping you. At that time, there was a guy there that was helping make phone calls with people and training them. You obviously had me, and you had, the rest of the team and the partners of the firm, You worked with Jeff some when you first came on, right? So he obviously has watched you also just, do what you're doing. Right. But I think that's what it is. I think it's about embracing the process, being surrounded around the people that are going to help you achieve those things.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm with you.
We talk, what's another circle that you might say or consider that maybe you have, like another circle of people, and who are those people?
Well, I never mentioned you guys.
Sure.
I mentioned, I mentioned the family, right? But I never, mentioned everyone individually and how it plays their part. With you on a business, standpoint, you hold me accountable. Especially when I'm down on myself or getting lazy. You make sure, Alex, you get your butt back to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job.
Theory, when me and you could get discouraged about the podcast, with things aren't set up right even before the show, things may not be set up right. And Theory says it's going to be okay. Like we're going to get it all figured out.
That's right.
Right. Everyone kind of has their own part, When I get down, Mom's there to help build me up, maybe on an emotional level,
Yeah.
With the sisters, all the sisters are the same thing. Same thing with emotionals, So definitely family, like I mentioned you guys, but I never went into depth. But it's a big big thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel for people that don't have a mother or father or siblings that
have empathy.
Yeah, right. Because I don't even know how people do it. I had someone at 8% tell me about it. I was like, I don't even know how you begin to do it. I couldn't imagine sitting here without you or Mom. It's just something you don't think of, right? And life happens so quick, and something could happen to one of you guys, God forbid, and it's just what happened, you know? So it's
temporary.
I really do feel for people that don't I have that.
Dude, you're gonna make me cry. That's good stuff, dude. That's good stuff. But I guess I was saying though, like in my mind, like you have another circle,
right?
And I know that we're recording this podcast here in August, and it'll air probably in late August or September. But like even we're talking about earlier today, right? You have plans this weekend,
right?
Okay. Well, it sounds like when you're talking about your plans, you have a circle of people you're going to see in Dallas. That seems like to be a friend group, like a high school friend group of people that you know that now are in college. Right. So you're going to go hang out and have a good time with them, right?
Yep. And then
then what?
And then I was going to go hang out with Joe in Austin. Yeah.
Joe in Austin.
Yeah,
Okay. Great. They have Redwood Agency, right?
Yep.
Okay. And they have a whole syndicate podcast deal and all that too. That's pretty cool. That's awesome
exciting,
stuff.
man,
yeah, that's great stuff. Okay. And you're going to hang out with him.
Yep.
Who's all getting together down at Joe's?
Tony.
Tony Merwin's going to be there?
I think so. I mean, he's in Austin, so I wouldn't be shocked if he popped out, you know. And just some other agents, you know, that kind of 8% in the Austin area, Dallas area, you know.
Why are you going to go there? What value, what purposes? And clearly you have a good time with him. I know that. You know, you hung out with him at 8%. But what are the reasons, you know?
You know, it's just networking, you know, building a circle, you know, just like back to our topic, you know. When it comes to like our podcast, for example, right? When we are 8%, like I told you guys before the show or yesterday, that they had some feedback for us, right? Because we're just now starting, you know, we're trying to get the hang of it, whatever it is. So they gave us kind of some tips about what we need to do, you know. So when I go over there to hang out with Joe and all them, they're always giving me advice.
That's
and
right.
Tips that I can pick up, you know, not just on a podcast level, but on a business level
Absolutely.
too. You know, so that's another reason why it's important to get around people that are doing the same thing as you.
It's critical. You know, Alexander, I love you saying that, man, because you know what I think about? I think about, see, you're in a circle of these men that are working. Right? And they're providing for their families, and that's where they are. So when you're in a circle of those type of men, as a young man, they're influencing you to say, hey, this is what your future is going to look like. So start preparing now so you can be ahead of us. And, you know, you and Joe have that in common, right? Though Joe's done really well, and he's I think he's in his late 20s now, right? But he's killing the game. Well, why? It's because he started super young, you know, and his dad's been in the business, so second generation. So you guys have that commonality, you know. So that's just going to help you be more and more beast mode, you know. So that's awesome. It's awesome. You know, you mentioned your sister. I think now is probably a good time to welcome on our show and bring on our show our podcast princess, and bring her on for a few minutes and talk to her about her experience and her stuff. You know, she was at 8% with us. And, you know, also talk a little bit about this podcast and this new venture that she's doing while she goes to Oklahoma State University. She finished her second year, and she's now in charge of Rush and everything going on down there with the sorority stuff. So she's all fired up. So let's welcome to the show our daughter and the podcast princess, Miss Theory Sala. Theory, come on the show, girl. Well, Theory, thanks for sitting here with us for a few minutes. How do you feel?
Great.
Were you excited about coming on the show with us?
Yep. I'm going to adjust the mic because I know how the mic works.
Okay, there you go.
So,
well, you do. You know how the mic works. There's no question about it. Yeah. Well, Alex, what do we fire a question out at Theory? What's the first question we're going to ask Theory today as our podcast producer, princess?
Okay. How does it feel to be, you know, the one editing? You're the one behind all this. You're the backbone, you know.
You are.
So
I actually
it's kind of behind the scenes, so no one really knows that Theory's taking care of all of our social editing. So we're grateful for you. But how does it feel to be a person and taking it up so early? You know.
Yeah. Let me preface this.
I know it's a really tied up question.
It was one day when I came home from school that Deidre pushed you to start the podcast.
Yes.
And then you were like, okay, we're going to do it. Do you know what to do? And I was like, okay. No, I don't know what to do. But then I went to everybody I knew who kind of knows this field.
So a circle of people in this space.
Yes, essentially people who know what they're doing for this. And YouTube and Google University.
Okay, yes, gotta love some GU, baby.
Yeah. And kind of taught myself how to put all of this together, and
you literally taught yours with the help of people that you're talking about, and but you totally went self-taught. Got your
the help of Will and Nate, the past people.
Man, you talk about Will Waldrop's amazing. I love that man. I appreciate all he's ever done. He helped us out so much. We had so many fun podcast recordings, content, and that guy spent hours and hours working on our stuff. And then Nathan took it over after Will went on and, is working on a ministry in Alabama. Just so happy and excited for him. Congratulations, Will. Pray continued success. And then Nathan starts working with us, and we start working with Nate for a while. And then obviously when we left that organization, when we started this one, Nate's already living in California. And you got to have a little interest, though, right?
Well, yes. So originally my interest started, though, in social media.
Yes, that's true.
So that's where it did start. That's where I thought I was going to lie. And then I didn't lie there.
Yes.
I do more now.
Yes.
So if anyone wonders why sometimes it's sporadic, I'm learning some of this.
Great. That's great.
And I also do a lot of stuff at school. So there's a kind of a lot on my plate all at once. But now that I'm more confident in this thing, I can feel like, okay, now I can create a schedule for it instead of creating a schedule to teach myself and then do it. It's more of just like, now I get to do it. And so it's like much less.
Man, praise God. I love it.
In my opinion, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
You enjoying it?
Yes, I think I enjoy having what would be the skills to do it.
Okay, yeah.
So, and whenever I do next or where I go, whatever, life has in store for me, I have this skill set.
Back up on?
Yeah, because, nowadays everyone's starting a podcast. Everyone's trying to promote their social media. Right. Everyone's trying to look for the next best thing. And it's like, I can just look on my phone and be like, okay, how do I teach myself to do that? How do I teach myself to do that? And it's just watching videos, reading, and, seeing what fits everyone's vibes as well. Because, I'd always ask you, I'm like, okay, this is not permanent, but I'm like, what is the next thing to make it a little more permanent? How are we actually going to have this set up? Are we sitting? Are we standing? Are we couch? Are we table? We kind of all talk about that a lot. So, seeing what's trending, but also what's in the vibe of people. I get opinions about this podcast a lot, but I'm also like, this is a very business-oriented podcast instead of like a... just
social.
Because, I watch a lot of podcasts and they're just, old YouTubers just sitting on the couch, just kind of going off current events. But, this is a little different. So I'm like...
Try to be intentional.
Yeah. So being more intentional with what you're... Yeah, and the market of people you're, attracting, essentially.
For sure. Well, I could appreciate that. I just want you to know, I appreciate, Alex, your kind words. I cannot tell you how it makes me feel, because I know when you record content and then someone has to edit it and the time they have to spend could be exhausting and grueling, and it's the same person or the same two guys and their same voices. And then if you and your brother get into it, or you and I got into it earlier, then you got to sit down and you got to record and put people in the best looking position they can. It takes a special person to do that. And I cannot tell you, besides how incredibly amazing I think you are and how beautiful you are, how grateful I am that you help us.
I appreciate it. Even though sometimes I just want to
yes.
But,
Do you think Alex does a good job appreciating you, outside of the show?
I will say that with me doing the podcast and being able to watch it, I get to be a little bit more critical to people. I feel like that someone else would... who you just randomly hired. Yeah. So for me, it's I think Alexander's communication on the podcast, not trying to call you out, but has gotten so much better.
It has.
Because I can just be I don't like the way you say this, or I don't like this word, and you say this too much, and I can just tell him.
Yep. And he jumps on it.
About it when we're recording the next podcast. And so I'm it's not someone, you're just someone random that has to keep telling him okay, Alexander, let's try to fix it. No, this. I've just got done editing podcasts 8 or 9, and I already can see from the first one when, something I would just literally is nails on a chalkboard to me, that I'm okay, I don't have to watch that anymore for hours on end. So it makes that process, I guess, a little bit more easier,
Yeah, sure.
It also helps him grow faster too.
Yeah. Well, I think you're also growing, because I think even through the journey, you're growing, you're learning things and things are happening. It's just, it's really good stuff. Well, do you enjoy 8% when we went to 8%?
Yes, 8% was a lot of fun. Yeah. I will say I did learn a lot besides the fact that it was insurance based. I liked a lot of the keynote speakers. Yeah. Those were really fun and interesting, because for me, I always went to those things as kids.
Yeah.
But no, I went to an adult convention, so it's a little bit different.
It is.
So it's a lot more adulty stuff.
You liked Emily Ford was great.
Yeah, she was really good. She was
awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned the keynote speakers. Which one did you like the best, and what was your takeaway?
So Emily Ford was my
Shoot, look at
favorite.
Alex like doing an interview here, man. That's
that
solid,
was a
Alex.
good question.
That's solid, man, the way you set it up.
Emily Ford was probably my favorite because
I loved her too.
Yeah, she first of all, I feel like demanded the presence in the room.
She did.
Personally, for me, the best out of anyone in the conference. But that's just a me thing.
Sure did.
But I think she did. She just got everyone to like think as she was speaking. And a lot of times we'll get dozed off.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Really think we're just like, okay, good point,
Right.
But people were thinking about her the next day and probably are still thinking about her from the conference.
They're following her now on social.
And she kind of took, people always blame like their traumas in their past, their traumas in their past, their traumas. I can't do this because of this. I can't do this because of this. But she's like, no, like take that, learn how to heal it, and move on. Yeah. Because like I said, people just kind of like crater into like whatever happened in the past, but like you got to move on because like life is not. I read this thing and it was just like the days are long, but the years are short, and that's probably like the most true statement like I've ever like read.
Yeah.
The years are long, but the days are short.
The days are short. The days are long, but the years are short.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes days just seem like they just beat you
No,
up, but
'cause
the
for me,
time
I feel
flies,
like-
right?
For me, it's like weeks. Like I'm like, this day cannot end. Like this day cannot end. But then it's like Friday, and you're like, oh,
How'd that happen?
the day's way gone. Like the day passed me. So, kind of realizing, more along the lines of like, how can you make your past your power?
Right.
So-
Man, so good theory. All right.
Okay.
Yes.
So-
make your past your power. Yeah, it's your part of your superpower.
Yeah.
Because you learn this. Man, I love that. Good job. Well, let's brag real quick about you. What sorority you're in. You're an Oklahoma State University girl. You're a Cal girl. After, you're always a Michigan girl. It's go blue always and every day.
Let's go blue. I have a goal to go to Michigan, Ohio State. Well,
We're going to, no, I'll just say it on the podcast. We're going to see
Just
Michigan, Ohio State.
I will cut that.
Yeah, no.
out.
We
We'll do a podcast like right in the stadium.
that would be great.
We're gonna
I
have
don't know.
bikes.
Maybe we'll make some phone calls. Maybe we have someone in the circle that we can do that
Dude,
with.
you don't know how tight it is in there. It's like
Oh, honey,
closer. It's
I don't know
like
how tight
I
it
was
is in
standing,
Michigan. I do
No,
know.
I was standing this close to next to someone.
And they have sections in that stadium. It's standing room only. I mean, they sell tickets for you to go stand at the game.
I was in the seats and
Stand.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Come on now.
It's hardball, baby.
No, it's like Disney World. Like that's the only way I can put it. Like
know.
Disney World, like more.
I know.
Like
It's
I was losing grandma in there. Like I was like, Grandma, you have to hold on to me. Like
That's great. But yeah, so you go to Oklahoma State.
yes.
Okay. Sorority you're with.
I'm in FIMU right now. I'm running the bid day. So after this bid day will be over. But like I said, when sometimes things seem a little sporadic, I am on the homecoming team, which is homecoming is like huge at OSU if you don't already know.
A matter of fact, not just huge. It's the largest homecoming celebration of all universities in the country.
Yes, Mizzou tries to take that from us, but that
Yeah,
is
Mizzou's not getting it.
Yeah, Mizzou tries to take that, but
Michigan
it's
not getting it?
no.
Michigan's not getting it. And
the northern
think about
schools,
how-
it's too cold.
And listen, and Oklahoma State's a smaller school.
Yeah.
In comparison to all the big schools, and they dominate that event. And I'm just
Yeah.
excited that you're helping lead that. I'm so proud of you.
So that takes a lot of preparation in the summer,
Yeah.
and then like bid day is all summer because that's even before school starts.
Right.
So I've just been planning, buying, purchasing ideas coming up in my head for all that. So. On top of that, I do this, and I'm in summer school. So, like, here's a lot happening, but, I mean...
And
might
then
as
your
well do
dad's
it
talking to
now.
you about getting your insurance license because you should have it.
Yes, I'm going to get my insurance license.
Yes, there we go. Give me some. Well, there's one other thing that I wanted to share with you. Let me get it. So, thanks to Ginger Ford, and thanks to a lot of people at 8%, which I assume you plan on going to 8% next year.
Yes.
Okay? Well, I asked you sincerely. Let me ask you.
At this rate, yes. At this rate, yes.
So, Alexander and I and Mom wanted
Do I
to
open it?
Yeah, we want you to open it right here on the show so people will see it. We wanted to gift you this and have you take a look at it and see what you think.
Pull that back now. The podcast math princess.
There we go.
This is what it looks like.
Let's go.
I love it, baby. There we go.
Let's
there
go.
we go.
I'll wear this at 8% next year.
You know, honey, I want you to sport it more often than that, but I love it. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about you. I love you. I thought you might like that.
No, it's a great shirt. It's a great shirt.
Good. Well, I hope you truly.
That was a
enjoyed
quick
it.
turnaround. I felt like we just got back.
Let me tell you something. That was your mom. Your mom made a couple phone calls. She found someone that said, I can do it for you pretty quick.
Pretty quick,
And
it's to say the least.
They
We
killed
left
it.
like a week ago.
Honey, she called the woman yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah, this was part. Deidre actually talked to us about this, and we talked about doing this. So, yeah, this is great.
That's great. That's great.
So I want to tell a quick sidebar before you get out the show. So your daughter, your sister Ariel comes in here today, and I say, and she goes, "So Dad, there's some shirt you guys got. You got Theory?" I said, "Yeah, honey, we're gonna give it to her on the show. She doesn't know." So then, like an hour and a half later, I get a call from Mom. And she tells me what Ariel was saying in front of you. So tell us what happened there, because kind of the surprise is still a surprise.
So it's
but
still a
once you
surprise
hear this-
because I was kind of like mean about it, like not like actually, but Ariel was like, "Dad's looking for this podcast princess shirt," and I go,
She has in front of Theory, bro.
and I go to Ariel, I go, "Is Dad losing it? Like I don't know what that is." Like, and she was like, "Never mind," and like ran out of the room, and I just looked at Mom, and she was like.
Just ignoring it.
And so like I was just like, okay, like I still don't know what's happening, but like
Right.
it's whatever. But I was still very much
love it.
surprised.
All
So
right.
great.
There we go.
Love you too.
There we go. That's good
Yes.
stuff. That's good. Well, we appreciate you being on the show. We appreciate you being in our circle in business now. And for everything you do. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. I know you want to get back and make sure the sound's all right.
I know. Now I'm like, hopefully the sound
There you
is
go.
good, but
All right.
Can I put on the shirt?
No, do not put on the shirt. All right. Well, Alex, I know, buddy, we want to wrap up. I just want to talk a little bit more about the circle stuff that I want our viewers to really take hold of as we log off. And Alex, I was saying, you know, you've heard this on so many podcasts or with speakers talk. What do they say? If you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, what are you going to be? The sixth.
Right.
The sixth millionaire. If you're going to hang out with 5 people that put God first in their lives, what are you going to be?
sixth.
The sixth guy to do
Right.
that. At the same time, if you hang out with 5, 6 guys that are partying all the time and they're not really moving forward in life, who are you going to be?
The sixth.
The sixth guy.
Right.
You know, so the circle is critical. You know, I'm excited, but you know, like I have another circle of people that are dear and close to me, right? Like Tony Merwin. You know, Steve Helt is a guy that I've worked with for years. You know, he works at a different organization, but you know, we've been so close for years. Love
Right.
that man. You know, you're talking about Joe Kemper. The guy's a beast. I love him.
Yeah.
He's in the circle. But then I got Melissa Bale, who I've worked with for years. Jay Sipkis at American Amicable.
Cody too. Yeah.
Cody was. I mean, just.
It's crazy
amazing.
though because to think Cody. You met Cody back when I was like freshman or sophomore year.
Yes.
He came in saying, "Hey, are you the hooper or the
Yes,
basketball player?"
Yes, because he
And then-
came over.
yeah,
Remember, he came
yeah,
over, saw the
yeah,
basketball
yeah,
court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that. So that was a cool experience.
Yeah,
You know.
he came in,
So yeah, that was pretty cool though. To think like how long you've known Cody. You know. And how I've grown, you know,
Yes.
to actually grow a good friendship with him, you know.
Today I was talking to Nate Alford. Okay, him and I had a conversation. Love Nate. And we're going to get Nate on the show. We're going to get Nate. Nate, listening? You got to get on the show. We got to get you on. But
Still hasn't followed me back on Instagram.
really, Nate? You're going to call my son out?
So you're
on-
gonna take my money and pool, dude. Tag me in a post on Instagram and then not even follow me. Like, what's going on, dude? Like,
Really, Nate? I guess.
I did watch one of his videos, and he said he doesn't run his social media.
Okay.
I'm not trying to.
he definitely posted that reel. There's no way.
Yeah, and hey, let's be clear. He could tell somebody, "Hey, make sure we follow Alexander on Instagram." Come on, Nate. Calling Nate out on the show. But when I was talking to Nate, like I got a little emotional with him because you know what I think is wonderful. Here's Nate Alford, who's a tremendously successful guy. You know, not just in the business, man. The guy's just a good man, has a beautiful family, and you know what? He pours out to people.
Right.
You know, and I've watched him pour out to you, and he doesn't have to.
Right.
You know, he never had to.
Right. Yep.
He's done that, and it's good. You know what? Though it creates this goodwill, like we're talking about. Like if someone's in the market, they're looking to get involved in the insurance space. I'm just going to tell you, the best place to be is at the Invested American. Okay, but I'll tell you this right now: if someone went and said, "I'm going to call Nate Alford and see if it's a guy I should work with," you know what I'll tell you? He might be a guy I'd be working with.
Right.
You know, but I wouldn't work with Ali Salah. But I'm just saying, put that aside. But no, Nate Alford's a tremendous guy, does great things, and I just was getting emotional with him because I just wanted to thank him because he's in my circle,
right?
But he's in your circle,
right? Yeah,
and he's just another positive influence and a man that could help me as a father. Just want to watch his children grow and rise.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
that kind of stuff.
When you talk about the circle with Nate, I mean, the whole Ultimate Agent experience. You know, he mentored me a lot throughout it. You know, even when he wasn't. Even if he wasn't my mentor for the day or whatever it is, he still took his moments out in the day to talk to me. What are you doing? What are you doing to achieve that? Yeah. What are we doing? You know, and then lay some advice on me. You know, you need to do this, this, and that. And I'm like, okay, dude. You know,
100%. And then when you get in the right circle,
you need to when it comes back to circle, right, and picking a mentor, you know, you need to pick a mentor that you want to achieve what they're achieving, right? With how much money they're making, you need to pick it that way so they'll just go copy what they're doing.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. I'll share this story with you, and then we'll get into one other thing here before we wrap up. I remember when Shelly and I were dating, and I had an uncle up in Detroit. He worked for Ford Motor Company, and he moved up the ranks. This uncle, I love this uncle. This guy was a beast. This guy spent time with me. He loved me. You know, obviously we're not going to get into, you know, my dad's stuff, me and him, but this was my dad's brother and super close. I mean, I just loved this man, right? And I remember one day him and I were talking, and he kept moving up with the company. Like my dad was a factory guy. You know, he worked at the factory plant, and that's what my dad did for years. And as my uncle would move up with the organization, with Ford, my dad would say, he's getting into management. You know, my brother's losing it. He just didn't like the fact that his brother was moving up in leadership. Right. Then my uncle started going to school because they told him, hey, if you want to move up with Ford some more, you need a master's degree. This guy goes out and works on getting his master's while he's raising a family, while he's doing what he's doing. And I asked him, I said, man, what do I got to do? I want to take my family on Disney trips. He took me to Disney World. I want to take my family up north to Traverse City. He took me up to Traverse City. Like the vacations I went on growing up was because of him, you know, and my Uncle Joe, again, one of my dad's other brothers. But this guy taught me a lesson that seemed really stupid. I got to tell you, stupid. But today it's eye-opening. Right. We were talking, and he had just got his floors done at the house. So he had his floors redone.
Right.
And I asked him why he picked what he picked. Not that I didn't like it, just why this? And he said, you want me to tell you why? I said, yes. He goes, okay. I actually went out with my wife, Julie, and we went and looked at 3 different floorings that we wanted. And then I talked to Joe Henze. Joe Henze was a guy that was his mentor. He called Joe and said, hey, Joe, I want to show you 3 different floors I'm thinking about buying for my house. I'd like you to tell me what you think. I said, okay. And then Joe picked this one right here, so that's why I have it. I said, which one did you like? I liked all 3. What'd your wife like? She liked all 3. And you know what's cool, Ollie? He didn't pick the most expensive one, but he didn't pick the cheapest one.
Right.
And it's the one he picked. Well, why would you have to worry about what he thinks the best floor would be? He goes, because if I want to duplicate successful people, I need to do exactly what successful people do. As much as, what does the floor look like that you're going to walk on?
Right.
And I've taken that advice to heart for years. Love the man, so grateful, you know, and it's the truth.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about here today. You know, it's about copycatting someone that's done it so you could go out and do it too. You know, it's powerful
and
stuff.
the business, just to piggyback on what you're saying, your circle, right, with your support system, people in that circle, the people that are, you know, that are making the more money than you, you know, the higher income, you know, the people that are more successful, listen to them.
Yes, sir.
Listen to them. They're in your circle. Sir. Take their advice, just like for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I continue to take your advice with the things you're telling me in business, you know, and just listening to you, you know, with the things you told me when you first started in the business.
And even when we first started in the business again last July, I feel like we started over, you know? You know, and I always like to say that to people. You know, I was in the business since 2009. And when I left the partnership last July, I walked away with 0 in renewals. 0. You know, I got nothing. So I worked this business literally for years. And then you know what? How many people had to leave an organization and had to forfeit their renewals, and then they felt sorry for themselves? They said, man, I ain't going to do this again. I ain't going to start over. You know what's cool? I got the last couple months, renewal checks are starting to come in. You know, I'm starting to get deposits for renewals.
I told you that the other month too. I was like, these renewals are starting to come in.
They're starting to come in. It's just fun. You know, it's like I forgot how renewals come in, you know? So it's been outstanding. I'm excited about that. We're starting to grow that part of the business. Great. You know, I forgot to mention Rush Holson, Hunter Gordon. Those guys are incredible people too, you know?
Yep.
So anyway, but yeah, so, you know, anything else that you want to drop about this or this topic about circles and how critical and how important they are?
You know, the last thing I would just leave is when it comes to your circle, you just got to find those people. If you're lost and, you know, you don't have a circle currently, contact me and contact him. You know, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, whatever it is. You can join our circle and we can be that support system for you if you're falling down in the business, you know. Whatever it is, even in personal life, you know, we can be there to be your support system and be in your circle.
That's absolutely correct. One of the things that we're going to do with the TIA and Ali Saleh Obsessed with Your Success is we're going to create a Facebook group and a couple other different kind of groups where people can get in, get some training, get some coaching. All that will be, you know, there'll be stair-step stuff, but we'll have a lot of stuff where people can share in and be in a group together and do that for free. And then there'll be other opportunities if you want to work with us or whatever the case might be, or if you just want coaching, we'll be able to offer those services to you as well. So we're pretty excited about that. But Alexander, I appreciate you being on the show with me as always. The show cannot be done without you. And Theory, I love Alexander said the backbone, man. It's powerful. I'm grateful for you being on the show. I'm so thankful for all the subscribers. Please, I ask to share this content with people, share this podcast channel. Please subscribe and help us grow. And we will continue to produce great content to the best of our ability to continue to grow, help this industry grow, and, you know, help bring people on and help our clients, et cetera, and so forth. So thanks so much. God bless, and we'll talk soon.